Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we'll continue with the revision. So today I'll do the last question under section 3, and that's a question on audit. So I'll read the question straight away. You are the audit senior in charge of the audit of Gamma Limited, a medium-sized retail company. The company has implemented a new sales management system that tracks all sales transactions, including credit sales, returns, and collections. As part of the audit of sales and accounts receivable for the first 3 quarters of the financial year 2024, you need to perform various audit procedures using data analytics to test controls and detect any potential material misstatements. Below is an extract and so we have the invoice number, we have the customer name, we have the invoice date, all the way to discount given. Additional information, where the collection dates are not indicated, collections are yet to be made. Yeah, so it means that when there's no collection dates, they are yet to be made. Required: A, conduct the below test of controls using MS Excel to analyze whether Gamma Limited adheres to its credit terms. So that will do under Roman 1. So we'll extract to calculate using an MS Excel functions the number of days between the invoice date and collection date, in bracket, or today's date for cases where collection has not yet happened. Note, above formula should be able to daily recalculate correctly the due days based on current date. Yeah, so here we will use the MS Excel function. So this is what we'll do. So we calculate. So I'll just go straight away. I won't read everything. I'll calculate because of time. Yeah, the video might take us more than one hour. Yeah, so I just extract to calculate using MS function the number of days between the invoice date and the collection date, in bracket, or today's date for cases where collection has not yet happened. Note, above formula should be able to daily recalculate correctly the due days based on current date. So it means that the formula we're going to use, even if it will be after a month when they will be marking your paper, it's supposed to give the correct information. So it's supposed to give the correct. So it means that we are going to use a function. So between invoice date and collections, I just go here. So this is what I will do. I will adjust there. So they have said that to extract the number of days between invoice date and collection date. So I just say number of days. Allow me first to highlight this and change it into Times New Series. And, Times New Series. Highlight everything. Then home. No problem. Let me escape that. So highlight that. Go to home, Times New Romans. Then we'll have 14. Yeah, 14 will do. The font will do. Yeah, I think that's now okay. Okay, so I'll go straight away without wasting time. So we look at the number of days between Yeah, so just know that it's the number of days between the collection and between the invoice date and the collection date. Yeah, so we'll use a formula, and they have said that for those that have not yet been collected, we use today's date for cases where collection has not yet happened. Yeah, so I'll work first with the one which you have the collection date, then I'll come to these spaces where the collection date is not yet calculated. And they have said that we use a formula. Note, above formula should be able to daily recalculate correctly the due days based on current date. Yeah, so it means that even if you do this, you do the collection date appears next year. Yeah, then it will still be able to recalculate the due dates. That's what the examiner is saying. And those are the formulas we'll apply. So I'll start with the number of days. So the number of days will be equals to, they'll say that the number of days between, so we'll say equals to bracket collection date. It is this one. Then the invoice date was this one. Then I'll close the bracket. Then I'll add one. Then I'll enter. I don't know why it's not giving me the value. Don't know why it's not giving me the value. Let me see once again. So this equals to the collection date is that, comma, the invoice date is that, then let me add the on day. No. Let me undo that. So I just do it directly. So collection day, it is that you would subtract the invoice data, and that will give you the days. Yeah, so I'll skip this because there was no collection date here. So I'll come here again and do the same. So I'll take the collection date, you subtract the invoice date to get the number of days. Yeah. Yes, the number of days, if there was collection date, number of days is negative, then I'll just drag from here. I'll drag for the 3 invoices for the 3 customers. Then I'll skip that. Then when I come here, I'll say equals to collection date minus the invoice date. Then you enter. Then I'll skip that. Then I'll come here and we'll have the collection date. You subtract the invoice date. Then it'll come to this. So you'll have the collection date less invoice date. And then we'll have, yeah, so for this I can drag, can just drag all the way down here. Just copy, yeah, that way. Then I'll jump that one. Then I'll come to this. So we'll have this minus that. You enter. Then you have this minus that one. Sorry, even here there was collection date here. Yeah. So let me just drag. Then this one there was no collection date. So come here. The last one. We'll do the same. Then you subtract that. Yeah, so that's the first part of that. We are not yet done with the number of days. So they've said that we extract and calculate the number of days between the invoice date and collection date. Where there are no collection date, we use or today's date for cases where collection has not yet happened. So yeah, so note, above formula should be able to daily recalculate correctly the due dates based on current date. So this is what we'll do. For where we have the spaces, this one, yeah, so we'll say today. So you just come and say equals to, so today, you just type equals today, then you click, then you just enter. So you'll have a date for today, like now I'm doing it on 14th of December. So that date will appear. So it means that when we use this form date, it will never change. It will never change because it's a function. So when it gets to tomorrow, it will automatically change to 15th. Yeah. So what do we do then? So just come here and say on these spaces where the collection date was not, there was no collection date. They are not yet due. Yeah, there's no collection date. So this is what you do. So you say equals to, you take the collection date, the today's date, which is this one. Yeah, and you know that, I don't know, can I lock it? No, I can't lock it because I'll use it separately. So you subtract the invoice date. Yeah, simple as such. Then you go again here, you do the same, you take the today date, then you subtract the invoice date. Yeah, then the same you apply here. You take this, you subtract the invoice date. Yeah. Then the same one, the same thing, you take the today's date, you subtract the invoice date. Then you come here, take the today's date, then the invoice date. Then you do the same here. You take today's date, so equals to today's date minus the invoice date. Then lastly, I don't know why it's not behaving. Yeah, so collection date here was today. So let me just write today. Minus this one. Yeah, this cell has a problem. Let me see what I can do. Let me escape. Yeah, so we'll have today, the date was this minus that one. Yeah, that was the invoice date. And yeah, I don't know why it's not giving me the correct. Let me change it to, let me go to home and change that name into numbers. Yeah, numbers. Yeah, so it will give me 286. Yeah. Okay, so once you are done with that, the one which is remaining is this one. So you'll go to equals to, it's today date again, because we just want the number of days minus the invoice date. Minus the invoice date. Yeah, so we have that. We have that. So by that, you are done with part 1 of required A. And I think because there were 3, that one will get 2 marks. Yeah, because the total was 6 marks. So, and I've said that the above formula should be able to daily recalculate. So it means that if the day changes, this date will now change to 14th, to 15th. Yeah, that's what the examiner required of you. Then we go to part 2. Using a formula, create a status column that identifies any instances where collections are made beyond the allowed credit period as beyond in quotes, and those within the credit terms as within in quotes. Yeah, when we are collections. So we are still talking about collections. Yeah, so what was the collection? So the collection date, this was the collection date. And the invoice. So you know, we have the invoice date and the collection, the credit terms was supposed to be 30 days. But based on the collection date, it was collected after 62 days. So if it was collected after 62 days, so we'll compare between the credit term 60. This was supposed to be the number of days was supposed to be 30, but it exceeded, it goes beyond to 62 days instead of 30. So we'll use the if function to create a formula. Using a formula, create a status column. So we'll have a column here, and I'll call it a status column the way they have called it, status column. So I just say status. Yeah. So what they're saying is that for anything that exceed the credit terms days, that is beyond, anything that is below is within, and you have to apply that using a formula. So you will use the logical functions. So we can use if and. So I'll use if in this case. So just equals to if. Yeah, the period between the invoice date to collection period, if it is greater than, so you just come here and say if, then you click that, then the logical test is that if this 62 days is greater than, I think that's the greater than, yeah, 30 days, which is the credit terms, yeah, because those were the credit terms given, yeah, and the logical, it is true, then if value is true, then that is beyond, yeah, if the value is true, then we say it is beyond. So what if the value is false, meaning the number of days between the collection date and is greater than the credit terms, then the opposite is that it is within. So it means that if it is less than the credit terms period, then it means it is within. Yeah, so just say within, then you say okay. So once you say okay, you can see the formula already has given you beyond. So that when you click, you see it is if J9 greater than F9, quotes beyond, quotes within. So once you're done with that, you just drag all the way up to the last part. Yeah, so you'll see beyond, within, beyond, within. Yeah, so that's what the examiner required of you in that second part. Is it Roman 2? Yeah. So you'll get 2 marks for that again. You'll get 2 marks for that again. Yeah, so if you have been my student, then you won't struggle so much using the logical functions. Roman 3, use a conditional formatting to highlight all details of overdue accounts. Apply a yellow fill with bold red font. Bold red font. So we are going to use a conditional formatting to highlight all details of overdue accounts. So we'll look at the due dates and whether the accounts are overdue. So we'll compare the collection with the due dates. So we'll have the due dates here. We'll have the due dates. Due date. Yeah, so what will be the due date? So this is what we do. So due date is that date that, yeah, it's not the collection date. The due date is the date when the credit terms expires. So this is what to do for us to get the due date, because I think that's what they want. Let me read again. Using conditional to highlight all details of overdue. Yeah. So overdue will means that anything that will exceed, any customer that will exceed the due date, then we'll highlight, but using conditional formatting. So let me start by due date. So how are we going to calculate the due date? So the due date will be the invoice date plus what? Plus the credit terms, yeah? Those days that you are given, that's the due date. Yeah, so like in this case, the due date was supposed to be 17th August 2024, but collection was on 18th 9 2022. So you can see it is 32 days more. That's why you have the number of days between invoice and you need to be 62. So once you are done with that, just drag to get the due date. Sorry. We just drag. Yeah, you drag down all the way. So once you are done with that, yeah, so those are the actual due dates. So what are they asking us? They're saying that under Roman 3, using conditional formatting to highlight all details of overdue accounts. Yeah, so how do we identify overdue accounts? So if the accounts was due on this dates, yeah, if the accounts were due, these were the due dates for the account. Forget about the collection date. Yeah, these were the due date. So what will be, yeah, you will ask yourself now, what will be overdue? So overdue means that anything collected beyond this date, any payment made beyond this date is overdue. Any payment made beyond these dates is overdue. And because you see, these are these collection dates, so we will come here and create a column. We'll create a column because if this was supposed to be due on 17th of 8, then if it was collected on 17th, then that's the due date. So it's not overdue. So if it's collected past that, then that is an overdue. Yeah, so that's an overdue. So that's what you want to do. So we have the due date, and this is what we will do. This is what we will do. So we have the due date and we have the collection date. Yeah, so I think we'll use the collection date instead of using the today's date, because these are the items we have been given the collection date to be here. So yeah. So this is what we'll do, because we want to highlight the dates that are, we want to use the conditional formatting. So just come here and say equals to, if this collection date is greater than the due date. Yeah, but yeah, that's true. Yeah, is it true? Yeah, yes, it is true. So just say equals, it is true. Yeah, it is true that the due date, the collection date is after due date. So it means that as you are the due date was supposed to be this, but collection was done on this other dates. Yeah, but on this other, the days when the collection dates were not there, so we assume that the collection date, the examiner is clear that the collection date should be the 12th of the today's date. Let me just undo this and repeat again. So we have due date to be this, and here we are given collection date. So this already, there have been some collections which have been made. Yeah, collections have been made, some yes, some not. Yeah, so there are some which have not been made, then their collection date will be today. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'll start with this. Yeah, let me just have the dates the way they are first, so that you can be able to understand. So I'll come here and copy the collection date. Yeah, that way. Yeah, so I think that way we'll be able to understand that. So let me extend that. Correct. Yeah, so we'll have that. The collection date was this. Yeah, remember the due date is what you have calculated, but the collection date was that. So allow me to drag so that the spaces that we'll have, which will have 0 will fill with the today dates, because we are told that the collection date was supposed to be today. So I'll copy that. I'll also do that. I'll drag that there. Now let me undo that. So I'll also copy. Let me just copy because it changes to negative. I'll also copy the dates. I'm copying this collection dates because those are the dates that the question say that you use the today's date. Yeah, and that today's date is a formula. So that's why I'm copying, so that even if this paper, even if you do this next year, even after 10 years, Excel will give you the exact date on that day. Yeah, Excel will give you the exact date on that day. Yeah, so we love that. So we have the collection date and the due date. So they want us to do what? Use conditional formatting to highlight all details of overdue accounts. Apply a yellow fill with the bold red font. So let me see what we'll do. Yeah, so you analyze, you check. If this was due on 17th August, but its collection date was on 18th September. So it means that it was overdue. It was overdue. It was overdue. It was an overdue. So I'll create a column here, just an analysis column to say equals to if this yeah, because what we are going to deal with are the dates, yeah? Yeah, what we are going to deal with are the dates. So this one is greater than this. It is true. So under that cell, if it is true, then it means that that is an overdue account. So I will enter. So it is true. So because I've done that one, so when I drag, it will give me these other values. Yeah, so you can see there's false, there's true, false, true, false. So what I will do, I will copy this cell. I'll copy, Control C. Then I'll highlight the due dates. Yeah, yeah, so that we know what is due or not. So I'll highlight all this. Then I'll go to home. Then you go to conditional formatting. Then I'll choose the new rule. Because they're very specific. They want so you can see format only says that content. So I'll use a formula to determine which cells to format. Yeah, because I want to format a cell. Yeah, which cell to format. So then I'll do that. Yeah, so format values where this formula is true. So you can see where I've highlighted this. The first one is the one which is not highlighted. Yeah, and it is true. This information is true that this collection date is greater than this, meaning it's overdue. Yeah, so I'll select this cell here. Then I go to format. Then format, I'll go to fill because they want color. They say that we use yellow. So I'll sample yellow that way. Then I'll go to font. Yeah, they talk of a red font. So font, then my color is not automatic. Let me put it at red. Yeah, then I'll say okay. So once I say okay, you can see it's giving me the preview, and I just say okay. Yeah, so that all those are highlighted. Yeah, all that is highlighted. Yeah, so that's how you use the conditional formatting. Yeah, to identify those items which were overdue. Okay, alternatively, let me undo this. Yeah, because it's long. Alternatively, I can undo that. And we have the due dates. Yeah, so you can do this. Yeah, let me highlight. You highlight this. I think this is the shortest. Let me not complicate this for you. So you highlight that. Then you go to home. Then you go to conditional formatting. Then you go to highlight sales rules. Then you see that on what we have highlighted, it was less than, yeah? So you say less than, then you, which is the date here? So the date here is supposed to be, yeah, because it is date. Huh? So the date will be this one. Yeah, so I'll select that. Then the color, let me say yellow fill with the dark green. Let me see if I can custom the format. Uh, fill, yellow. Then font will be red because that's what the examiner is saying. Then I'll say okay. Yeah, then I've custom the format. Then you just come and say okay. Yeah, so you see when you say okay, those dates that fall beyond, you can see true. Yeah, those that falls, those are that are due at these dates. Yeah, you can see under true, they are all due. Yeah, they are all due. They are all due. You can see now I have highlighted with the yellow, but with the red font. So that's how you are supposed to do that question. That's how you are supposed to handle that part of that question. And you get how many marks? You get 2 marks. So they were giving 2 marks for all this. I think that was so unfair to students, but it is the prerogative of the examiner to test the way they want. So I'll go to part B. That's why we are supposed to tackle part A of that question. So I'll go to part B. Using Excel, perform the following substantive tests on the accounts receivable balance. So Roman 1, create and calculate the amounts due by considering payments collected or offered discount. So I think I'll have to do this down here. So I'll say part B. Sorry for that. So we'll have part B. So we'll have part B. Part B, Roman 1. Part B, Roman 1. Okay, so we continue. So we'll carry out, what we are doing here first was the test control. When you are doing test of controls, you work with the data you are given. Yeah. Whether the data are accurate or not, provided that they're signed and that the signature has been appended by the financial accountant, the one who's preparing the documents, it's upon you to carry out the test of controls. But part B, now we do what we call the substantive test. The substantive test is where you add 1 plus 1 and confirm whether what was given was 2. That's what we call substantive. Yeah. So that's the real audit. So when you come to Roman 1, I don't want to go deep into that. So I'll just teach what is there. Create and calculate the amounts due by considering payments collected or offered discount. So the amount due, that's what they want, the due amount, So how do we get the due amount? So the due amount, this is what we'll do. We have the invoice and the customer name, the amount, the sales amount, the amount collected, and the discount given. Yeah, so we can have those columns. Then we get now the due amount after the amount has been collected. It's as simple as such. So this is what we'll do. I'll start there. So I'll copy this. Sorry. Let me delete that. I'll copy the invoice numbers column. Let me skip that. So you copy the invoice number column, Control C, then just come and Control V to paste. Then the next will be for customers. Customer, because I don't want to have so many columns. So I'll also copy that. Okay, no problem. I'll copy the, let me undo that. Yeah, that's okay. So I'll also copy that up to there. So it will be Control V, Control C, sorry. Yeah, I'm just copying this, transferring the data. Control V. And I'll do the same to, I think the information that I need, I don't even need the invoice dates. What I need is amounts due by considering payments collected or offered on discount. So I'll just check at the sales amount. Yeah, so I'll copy the sales amount. So the sales amount, I will copy that. Control C. Control V. That was the sale amount and what was collected. Credit terms, not necessary, collection date, not necessary, amount collected, and the discount given. That's what is important. So I'll copy all these two. Amount collected. I'll also copy that and paste. Control V. Then I'll do the same to the last one. I think that's amount collected, then the discount given. Yeah, the discount given. Control C, then Control V to paste. Yeah, I think that's all. That's all. Then based on that, we look at the due amount because that's what they're requesting for. So we'll carry out a substantive test. I told you that substantive test is now your work as an auditor to confirm the figures. So yeah, we'll confirm the due amount. Yeah, by carrying out substantive test on these invoices. Yeah, so we'll start with this invoice 001. So the sales amount was 15,000. Amount collected was 15,000. Due amount, that means that I'll have a formula that we have a sales amount and you subtract the amount collected, then you subtract the discount given. Yeah, subtract the discount given, because if you sold for 15,000, then you gave a discount of 1,000, then it means that you are supposed to collect 14,000. So it means that if the amount collected was 14,000 and the discount given was 1,000, then sorry, then it means that we'll have 15 minus 14, that will be 1,000. Minus 1,000 will give you 0. So it means that the due amount will be 0. Yeah, so it means that they don't owe you anything because you gave a discount. So you have to take sales amount minus amount collected minus the discount given. Yeah, that's the formula. So once you enter that, you just drag, yeah, all these others will fall in place. Yeah, all these others will fall in place, will fall in place. Yeah, so that's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you're supposed to do it, that the due amount, these are the due amounts. And you can see we have negatives, and we sales amount was 5,500, but they collected 7,800, and there was a discount of 150. There was a discount of 150. So they collected more than what was invoiced, yeah? Yeah, but the formula remained the same. As you can see, here you can see number 2, sales amount was 60,000, but discount given was 800. So there was no amount collected. So it means that it's only 59,200 is what is needed. So the formula is correct, yeah. So that's how you're supposed to do that part. So the due amount is that. So that's what we call the substantive test. You do the test as an auditor. You do the test and give an observation, yeah, a professional judgment on that. Then part 2, Roman 2, compute the aging of accounts receivable based on days due to classify the accounts as below. So we have current 30 days, due 60 days, overdue 90 plus days over. Yeah, so we are going to do what we call the aging analysis. We are going to use the aging analysis. So this is what we'll do. Now we have the due amount. So we'll have another part 2 here of part 2 here. So we'll have the customer. So allow me just to copy this. I hope if I copy that and I drag down, it will give me everything. So this is the last one. Raiko Inc. No, I think I still have to drag. Yeah, Gamma Raiko in, yeah. Yeah, so that's, we'll have the customer name, then we'll have the due amount. The due amount. So the due amount is that. It's already there. So we'll have to copy that, then drag. The rest will come automatically. Yeah, that's how you do the aging. That's how you do the aging. Let me delete that. Then the next thing will be the due date. What will be the due date? I think all these are already up here. The due date. The due date. Due date is here. So I'll just copy it. Then I'll copy the first one. And I can just drag. Yeah, just drag all through. Yeah, those are the due dates. And the next item will be the what we call as a today analysis. As a today analysis, meaning, yeah, we are going to look at the number of days based on the date for today. Yeah, for today. Yeah, we are going to calculate the number of days based on the date as at today. So I'll just say AS on as at this day, because this date we say that it changes. Yeah, so I'll just say equals to today. Yeah, so it tells you returns the current date formatted as date. So you just equals to today. And I'll just enter. Yeah, so I'll drag it all through. Yeah, I'll drag it all through. So I'll drag, let me see if it will copy. Yeah. So I'll drag it all through. Then I'll have the number of days. Then aging status. Then aging status. I have number of days. Then aging status. Aging status. Okay. Yeah, so the number of days now will be the difference between due date and today. Yeah, today. That's the difference. So let me use the formula equals to days. Let me see if it will agree to work here. Equals 2 days. And then you click. Then end date is that, comma, start date, which is the due date. Then you close the bracket. Let me enter. So when you enter, you get 119. Yeah. So let me see if you add 1, because for you to be accurate, you have to add 1. Yeah, and when you add 1, Excel gives you this. So when you go back, let me see if it will give me still 119. You change them into number. It's giving me 120. So 120 is the correct one. Yeah, that's the correct day. So you say equals to days. Let me do it again. If you want to get the difference. Yeah. But if you have 119, even if you just subtract this to this, there's no problem. Yeah. But here they were requesting that we use the formulas, the Excel functions. Yeah. So I'm saying equals to days. End date is this, comma, then start date is that. Then I'll close the bracket, then I'll add 1. Then once I add 1, I'll enter. Yeah, so when I enter, it will give me 120 days. Yeah. So you just drag that way. So those are the number of days. Yeah, so how are we going to do the aging status? We are told that compute the aging of accounts receivable based on days due to classify the accounts as below. Yeah, based on days due. Yeah, so based on these due dates. Yeah, you see these due dates is what we'll use to analyze the aging status. Yeah, simple as such. So what are we going to do? So we are going to, I'll prepare something here. We are told that the days were divided into 30. 30 days is current, due is 60 days, over due is 90 plus days. Yeah, so I'll start with 30 days. So I'll say days, days. Then we'll have the status. Yeah, the status of those days. Status. Yeah, so we'll have 30, 60. Then we have plus 90. So we'll have plus 90. So we'll have 90. Yeah, so we can't have 90 plus. So the status of 30 days means that this due date, these due dates must, the aging must be computed from the first day to the 30 days. Yeah. So if it is 30, then it means that yeah, so if it is 30, yeah, they've said that 30 is current. Yeah, so we'll avoid anything below 30. Sorry. If it was 1 to 30, it's okay. So it's 30. So we'll say it's 30. The status will be 30 to 60 days. Then the second one for 60, so 60 will form part of 61 to 90 days. 90 days. Then 90, we are told that and it is 90 plus, so more than 90 days. So here we'll have more than 90 days. Yeah, and this question, this question was all about functions, how to use the Excel functions. Yeah, so how are we going to do the aging? So I'll start here. Here we have 120. So 120 days, is it more than 90? Yeah, it is true, it's more than 90 days. So how are we going to calculate it? Using Excel to confirm that it's more than 90 days. So just come and say equals to, then you'll have the VLOOKUP. We'll have the VLOOKUP. Then we'll have this value here. Then we'll have comma. Then we'll have a table of arrays. Don't know why. Let me delete this first. Yeah, let me put this down here so that I can be able to select everything here. So allow me to delete this. Allow me to just to delete all this. Yeah, so let me say days. Just a minute. Okay, so we'll have days and status here. Days and status. So we have 30, 60, then 90. Then I said from 30, now we'll have 30 to 60 days. Then we'll have, here we'll have 61, the range, yeah? Yeah, if you have done the range, you have 61 to 90. Yeah, it's just pure statistic. To 90 days. Then for 90, we are told that 90 plus, so it's more than 90 days. Anything more than 90 days will fall here. More than 90 days will fall here. Okay, so we love that. So I'll start here. So I'll say that we'll use the VLOOKUP function. So it's just equals to VLOOKUP. Then the lookup value is 120. Yeah, because that's the value that we're dealing with under the number of days. That's the VLOOKUP. And then we'll have a comma. Then the table array is this, is what we have, all this. Yeah, we select all that. Sorry, let me delete this. Let me delete this so that we ensure that everything falls within a column. Yeah, they don't overlap. They don't overlap. They don't overlap. They don't overlap, because when they overlap, we want to get the value correctly. Let me see if I can drag that. Let me remove the formula first, the VLOOKUP. Sorry for that. Let me, yeah, this should not overlap to this other columns. You see this one, huh? Yeah, should fall within 2 columns. That way, yeah, that way, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so everything is within, yeah, those columns. Yeah, so you go to come and say equals to VLOOKUP. Then the lookup value is 120, then comma, then you select the table array, the range lookup, that one. Yeah, then you lock them completely because I just want to go and drag, you lock it completely. So I'll lock by the F4 or the $sign. You lock the cells completely by the $sign. Also lock this one completely before and after the column. Before and after the column. Then you will put a comma, and because we have a column and a row and column, so you will put 2. Then yeah, you see it's more than 90. It's more than 90. Yeah, so true. So true means approximate match, false exact match. So is 120, is it true that it's more than that? Yeah, it's true that it is more than 90. So you say true, true, then you close the bracket. Let us enter. Yeah, then you close the bracket and you enter. You can see it's giving me more than 90 days. It is true. The number of days aging is 120. Yeah, 120 is more than 90 as per what you are given. So once you have that VLOOKUP, you just drag. Yeah, you just drag and you'll have these other values. Yeah, you just have these other values. There are a lot of ease. Yeah. Yeah, so you can see the range. More than 90 days, more than 90 days, 61 days to 90 days, 66, 200 more than 90 days, 30 to 60 days, more than 90 days, more than 90 days, more than 90 days. Yeah. So that's how you are supposed to do the aging part of that question. Yeah. So you are supposed to use the VLOOKUP function. Very well. We think we're moving well. So I'll move to part C. Using MS Excel pivot tables, perform analytical procedures on cells and the discounts given during the year. So under that Roman 1, prepare monthly sales trend analysis using the invoice data. Analyze the proportion of discount given relative to total sales and flag any unusual trend is okay. Prepare an appropriate chart for resulting output and comment on the trend. Yeah, so that one is just a pivot table. So I'll teach you how to prepare a pivot table. That is part what? Yeah, part C of this question. Yeah, so I'll just do the same thing because for pivot table, I just prepare one. Yeah, so that the analysis can come from that. So what are we preparing the pivot table for? Part C. The pivot table perform on sales and discounts. Yeah, so this is what we'll do. I think there will be no if I use the original data. Yeah, because I can see everything is captured because monthly sales, the sales are there, discounts are there. Then that will give us the charts. Yeah, so I'll just follow up. Let me take some water because it has been a long teaching. Let me take a minute water. Okay, we continue. So we'll go to pivot table. So you just have to know the procedure on how to create pivot table. So we'll go to insert. I think I'll have to do this. Let me see if it can work here. If it will be able to work here. Let me go to insert. Yeah. Or I copy it somewhere. Insert, then you go to pivot table. Yeah, from it's not from external. Yes, that one. Yeah, so the table range. Sorry for that. The table range, I'll use this data here. So I'll highlight all this. Let me delete this first. Yeah, so I'll highlight all this. Yeah, to change this into pivot table. Sorry, up to that. The new worksheet. No, I don't want to do it. Let me do it under the existing worksheet here because they will mark it there. So where do I want the data to appear? So the data, I will want the data to appear here, down here. Then I just say okay. Yeah, so the data already has appeared there. Yeah, so what do I have to choose from? Yeah. You can see now the pivot table fields, though it's not clear because my microphone is here, but you can see we have the invoice number, customer name, invoice date, sales, collection, and number of days. So what do we want? What was the examiner? What did the examiner required from us? That's what we are supposed to select. Yeah, so prepare. Yeah, perform on sales and discounts given during the year. So we have sales amount. I'll select that, and discount given. Then prepare monthly sales trend, analyzing the invoice data. So the invoice data, I think let me just select everything. So we have the invoice number and the invoice date. Analyze the proportion of discounts given relative to total sales and flag any. Yeah, that's already we have selected that. And prepare an appropriate charts. Yeah, so we'll be able to prepare charts. Yeah. So once you are done with that, once you are done with that, you can now decide to. Yeah, you can see we have the row and label. So we have the invoice. The grand total is that. The discount is that. You can see this one. Yeah, we have the sales, the sum of discounts given, and we have the invoice numbers. Yeah, so with that, I think we have answered some part of these questions using the pivot table. Let me see. Yeah, so you can analyze the proportion of discount given. So if this discount we are given was 800, yeah, so you can analyze the proportion of 800 vis-a-vis 600. Yeah, you can do the analysis. Yeah, that's okay. Then you prepare charts. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Prepare an appropriate chart from the resulting output in C1 above. C1 above is prepare a monthly sales trend analysis using the invoice data. Yeah, so that's what we have here. That's what we have here, and comment on the trend Yeah, so we are preparing that Sorry, the internet has been a challenge that's been hanging. So we continue with the chat because that's the last part before we do a brief on the audit. Yeah, so we'll go to, let me move this here. So let me go to home, then we go to yeah, that one, yeah. So pivot table, sorry, why is it not moving? Yeah, so pivot table and analyze. Yeah, then we'll go to, yeah, this will give us the charts. Yeah, we'll go to pivot chart. You can see, yeah, insert pivot chart with the data on this pivot table. Yeah, so you'll be given that data. So you given the columns, and you just come here and select that, and you say okay. So once you say okay, you can add the axis title, sums of sale amount, sums of discount given, chart title. Yeah, so what is the title? The title will be based on what? On sales trend analysis. Yeah, sales trend analysis. So you'll have a title there of sales analysis. Yeah, you can just say sales analysis. Just sales analysis. There's no big deal with that. Yeah, so you can see that. Then you can drag it and move it down here, yeah, for analysis. Then now you can even close that. Yeah, there's no need of having that. Yeah, so that's how you're supposed to handle part 2 of that question. So not part 2, but part C. Then now the last part, yeah, so we have prepared an appropriate chart. I think this was also 2 marks. That is 2 marks. The examiner was so mean with the marks. Because this he gave a total of how much? Of 6 marks, yeah. Yeah, 6 plus, yeah. Then on the analysis, the last part, which was 3 marks, the examiner has told you to audit report. Part D is audit report. Draft a brief audit report summarizing the results of your testing, highlighting any compliance or control weaknesses identified during your audit. So here you just come and say, because this you can also you can only make an analysis after carrying out what we call substantive test. Yeah, so you're saying after carrying out audit substantive tests, I realized that the internal control system, was it Gamma Limited? Yeah, control systems of Gamma Limited were weak since they didn't stick to their credit terms. Yeah, you see that the collection period, even as we are doing the audit, some of the money has not been collected. Yeah, so after carrying audit subsidiary test, I realized that the non-core system of Gamma Limited or weeks they didn't stick to their credit terms. Because if it's 30 days, then you have to ensure that that collection happens within 30 days. Yeah, and anything, if it is overdue, then you have to justify when you are giving your financial reports that it's overdue. They didn't factor all that. So after carrying out, we have realized that they have an internal control system which are weak. Yeah. So to strengthen the internal control system, you can go ahead and say, so I just dictate that. You can go on and say that Gamma Limited management must comply with the credit terms at all time to strengthen the internal control system. So thank you so much for watching this video. This is the last question for this December 2024. And if you are watching my videos for the first time, please take a minute also, subscribe, and let us get to 1,000 subscribers. If you have any comment down there, comment on this below. Say anything, comment, positive comment, encouragement, any input you like to make on the videos. Like the videos, share with your friends. And furthermore, for those who are done with the advanced part of the certified public accountant, you are ready now to enroll for business and data analytics. And my number is on my bio. So I'll prepare you well from January so that when it gets to April sitting, you will have so much ease sitting for your paper for the first time. Thank you so much and have a blessed evening. And may the Lord bless you wherever you are across the continent and across the world. Thank you so much and have a blessed evening.